They said Billy Buffet was untouchable. A New York billionaire, tech genius, the man who just signed a government contract worth billions. His rivals shook his hand on stage, smiled for cameras, toasted champagne at conferences. But behind those smiles, one man sharpened a knife. His name was Marcus Hale, and he wanted Billy destroyed. Marcus didn't aim for Billy's company. He didn't aim for Billy's wealth. He aimed for Billy's only child. That morning, in the underground garage, Billy's black SUV purred to life. The driver checked his mirror. The little girl climbed inside, pink lunchbox pressed against her chest. No one saw the guard in the shadows slip a hand beneath the chassis, set the device, and tap his phone twice. Click. Silent. Deadly. Upstairs, Billy kissed his daughter's head, distracted by a call. Good luck at school, pumpkin. He didn't notice the guard's eyes. He didn't notice the faint chemical smell left behind. Only Grace did. The nanny. She saw the guard whisper into his phone. She saw him glance too long at the car. She pressed the lavender scarf against her lips, heart pounding. Something wasn't routine. And she was right. Grace's pulse drummed in her ears as the SUV rolled up the ramp, sunlight catching its black steel. Inside sat Billy's daughter, humming to herself, straps tight on her pink backpack. Grace's eyes never left the guard. He leaned on a pillar, phone to his ear, voice low. 3 words, muffled but sharp, it's in place. Grace froze. She had worked for the Buffet family 5 years. She knew every routine. Every habit. That guard, newly hired, recently friendly, wasn't routine. His smile had edges. She stepped back, heart racing. She could tell Billy, but Billy was already locked in a meeting call, face buried in papers, screens glowing with numbers. He wouldn't hear her in time. The SUV signal light blinked. Tires squealed. The vehicle carried the girl into Manhattan traffic. Grace pressed her scarf harder to her lips. Taxi, she shouted. A yellow cab screeched to the curb. She slid in, breathless. Follow that SUV, she ordered. The driver blinked. Lady, this isn't the movies. Then pretend it is, Grace snapped, eyes burning. The cab merged into traffic. 2 cars ahead, the black SUV moved steady. Grace leaned forward, whispering, please, don't let me be too late. Before we move forward, just a quick moment. To all my returning viewers, thank you. Your support keeps this channel alive, and I don't take it for granted. And if you're new here, welcome. You've landed right in the middle of a story where loyalty, betrayal, and danger collide. If you want more stories told like this, hit that subscribe button right now. Tap like if you're gripped already, share this video with a friend who loves suspense, and in the comments, tell me what you'd do if you were Grace in that lobby, noticing something wasn't routine. Your voice matters here. It's what makes these stories more than just stories. Now, let's get back, because what's coming next will shake everything. The cab weaved into traffic, horns blaring. Grace's eyes locked on the SUV 2 cars ahead, glossy black, tinted windows. She could almost see the outline of the little girl's head bobbing inside. Her phone buzzed. Billy's name flashed. She answered in a whisper. Sir, where did you find that new guard? What guard? Billy's voice was rushed, distracted. Papers rustled. Someone in the background said, they're waiting in the boardroom. Grace swallowed hard. The one who rides with your daughter. Something's wrong. Grace, not now, Billy said, hanging up. Her chest tightened. She wanted to scream. Instead, she leaned forward. Faster, she told the cabbie. The SUV changed lanes suddenly. The guard inside lifted his phone. His lips moved. Tap. Pause. Tap. The rhythm was the same she'd seen in the garage. Grace's stomach turned cold. She remembered her father's words back in Queens, people show their truth in patterns, not promises. The SUV rolled past a traffic light. Grace's cab squeezed closer. Bystanders on sidewalks laughed, carried coffee cups, lived ordinary lives. They didn't see the shadow in the back seat. Grace gripped the scarf in her lap. She whispered to herself, stay with them. Stay alive. The SUV slowed at a red light on Lexington. Grace's cab rolled up behind, engine humming. The little girl's pink backpack shifted against the window. Grace's throat tightened. The guard leaned forward, phone in hand. His finger hovered, then tapped twice. Pause. Twice again. Grace's breath caught. She knew. The world split open. A roar, blinding white, then fire. The SUV erupted into a ball of flame, windows shattering, metal twisting like paper. The shockwave rattled Grace's cab, glass cracking. People on the sidewalk screamed, dropped coffee cups, phones flying from hands. The cabbie cursed, slamming the brakes. Grace's head snapped forward. For a heartbeat, all she saw was smoke, thick, black, suffocating. Then the screams pierced. Someone's inside, a man yelled, but his feet stayed planted. A woman held her child back, eyes wide. Phones lifted, recording instead of moving. Police cars skidded in, sirens wailing, officers raising their arms to block the crowd. Grace's body moved before her mind. She shoved open the cab door, heat slamming her skin. The scarf fell from her lap. "Lady, don't," the cabbie shouted. But Grace was already running. Into fire. Into the roar. Toward the child. Heat punched her lungs. The closer Grace ran, the more the air burned. The SUV's hood curled upward, flames licking the sky. Gasoline hissed. Metal groaned. She covered her mouth with her sleeve and dove low. Smoke clawed her eyes. She heard nothing but the crackle of fire, the scream of steel. Then, through it, the faintest cry. A child's cry. Her hands hit glass. Shards cut her palms, but she didn't stop. She yanked the back door handle. It was jammed. She slammed her shoulder against it. Once. Twice. The third time it gave, a groan of surrender. The sight seared itself into her. Billy's daughter slumped sideways, seatbelt still buckled, face smeared with smoke. The pink backpack had caught fire at the edges. The nanny's stomach lurched. "Hold on, baby," Grace whispered. She reached in, fingers trembling, tearing at the belt. It stuck, melted, refused. She pulled harder. Sparks fell like burning snow. Outside, police shouted, "Stay back." No one came closer. Grace screamed at the belt and it snapped free. She pulled the girl against her chest, covering her face, and stumbled backward out of the inferno. The crowd gasped. Phones shook. A voice shouted, "She's alive." Grace staggered into daylight, the child clutched tight to her chest. Her arms trembled, smoke clawing her throat. The girl coughed once, weak, but alive. The sound ripped a sob out of Grace she didn't know she had. Bystanders erupted, gasps breaking into shouts. "She's breathing. Oh my God, she saved her." Phones tilted higher, recording every ragged step. Grace dropped to her knees on the curb. Her hands shook as she laid the girl down gently, patting her cheek. "Stay with me, sweetheart. Just breathe." Police rushed forward now, but none had dared the fire. One officer knelt, radio crackling, child pulled from vehicle, alive. His voice trembled. The guard, the one who planted the device, was gone. Slipped into the crowd. Grace scanned the blur of faces through stinging eyes. Too late. Paramedics cut through the wall of people, sirens wailing, stretcher rattling. They reached for the girl. Grace tried to stand, but her knees buckled. Hands caught her, guided her to sit. Her sweater was singed, her palms cut, her hair singed by the blast. In the distance, another siren. Louder. Different. A black sedan tore down the avenue. Inside it, Billy Buffet, unaware. The black sedan screeched to a stop, tires burning against asphalt. Doors flung open. Out stepped Billy Buffet, suit wrinkled, tie half loosened, phone still in his hand. His face, stone on magazine covers, steel in boardrooms, was breaking now. "Where's my daughter?" His voice cut through sirens. He shoved past police tape, ignoring hands reaching to hold him back. The SUV still burned behind him, flames clawing skyward. For a moment, his knees buckled. His world tilted. He saw only fire. Only smoke. His only child, gone. "Sir, please," an officer tried, but Billy's roar drowned him. "Where is she?" Grace tried to rise. Her throat burned. Her body felt carved from ash. But she lifted her hand, weak but steady. "Here," she croaked. Billy turned. On the sidewalk, paramedics crouched over a tiny figure. His daughter. Coughing, alive, wrapped in the nanny's scorched arms. Billy's breath collapsed into a sob. He dropped to his knees beside them, tears cutting lines down his soot-streaked face. His hand hovered, afraid to touch. Then the girl's chest rose again, shallow but certain. "She's alive," he whispered. He looked at Grace, eyes wet, voice cracking. "You went in for her." Grace's silence said everything. Billy clutched his daughter's hand like a man drowning. The crowd pressed in, phones raised higher. Sirens echoed off glass towers. For a moment, relief drowned the fire. His daughter was alive. Then Grace's voice, hoarse but steady, broke through. "Where is the guard?" "The one assigned this morning." Billy blinked. "Which guard?" Grace's eyes swept the perimeter. She had seen him minutes before, leaning too close to his phone. Tap. Pause. Tap. And now, vanished. An officer overheard, spoke into his radio, "We've got a runner." Description. Grace rasped, tall, shaved head, black suit. He was with the car. Billy's chest tightened. His daughter's car. His routine. His secretary Elaine had approved that hire. He remembered signing nothing. Trusting everything. A man in the crowd muttered, "Bomb." That was a bomb. Another whispered, "Inside job." The word spread like a stain. The officer looked up, grave. This wasn't random. Billy's head spun. Rivals he could handle. Competitors, lawsuits, smear campaigns. But this? Someone inside, someone with keys to his home, to his child. Grace pressed her burned palms into her scarf, trembling. "Sir, this wasn't just Marcus Hale. Someone fed him your life." Billy's breath stalled. The name rose unbidden, Elaine Porter. His secretary. The one who knew everything. The crowd outside the barricades buzzed with whispers, recording every second. Billionaire. Bomb. Betrayal. Words carried fast in New York. Billy stood, soot streaking his suit. His daughter lay strapped to a stretcher now, oxygen mask over her face, tiny hand clutching the edge. Grace limped beside her, refusing to leave. Police radios crackled, confirmed device. Professional grade. Planted under rear frame. Timer set to remote. Billy's chest went cold. His enemies had tried before, lawsuits, smear campaigns, stock manipulation. But this? This was blood. Then another call came through. Officers intercepted a suspect near Park Avenue, Elaine Porter. Billy's secretary of 10 years. The woman who scheduled every meeting, guarded every password, carried his trust like a second skin. Gasps rippled through the onlookers. Even the officers stiffened. A man muttered, "The secretary?" "No way." Another replied, "Always the closest ones." Billy felt the ground tilt beneath him. He saw every moment Elaine had smiled, every time she'd whispered, "I'll handle it, sir." He heard Marcus Hale's laugh in conference halls. The two of them, linked. Grace leaned closer, voice low, urgent. She knew his schedule. His routines. Even what car his daughter took to school. Billy's jaw clenched. She fed them everything. Phones caught his every word. Elaine was brought in cuffs, her polished blazer smeared with sweat. The cameras swarmed. Reporters shouted. She kept her chin high, but her eyes darted when they landed on Billy. "Sir, it's not what you think," she stammered. "Marcus, he threatened me." Billy cut her off, voice raw. "You knew my daughter's route." You knew my guard schedule. You put her in that car. The crowd erupted. Gasps. Shouts. Phones caught every second. An officer read aloud the evidence, encrypted messages, bank transfers, instructions traced back to Marcus Hale. The rival had the money. Elaine had the access. Together, they'd planned it all. The words landed like hammers. People in the crowd whispered, 320 million couldn't buy loyalty. And his own secretary sold him out. Billy's daughter stirred on the stretcher, coughing through the mask. Grace bent low, whispering comfort, steady hands pressing the child's fingers. Billy's gaze softened. The nanny, burned, trembling, loyal, had gone where no one else dared. Not police. Not guards. Not family. He dropped to his knees beside her, voice breaking. Grace, you saved her. You saved me. She only shook her head. I just couldn't let her go. The cameras caught it. A billionaire's tears. A traitor exposed. A nanny crowned hero. And in that moment, the world saw what Billy finally knew, his fortune had bought him enemies. But loyalty could never be bought. It lived, quietly, in the heart of his nanny.